guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to talk to you about something that I have been meaning and planning and filming, and not filming but prepping more so for this video for a few weeks now. And it is going to be a compare and contrast on all these three Aqualogica sunscreens. Okay, I'm holding it ulta. Yeah, I'm going to be comparing these three Aqualogica sunscreens and kind of tell you which ones are my favorite, what are my thoughts on each of them individually, how they compare to each other, and all of that stuff. So yes, I'm super duper excited to be sitting down and filming this, especially the process of getting it. I was waiting to get a good deal on them, and then when I finally got it and I tried it out, I was like, acha, okay. And then I continue using it also. I've used each of these individually, I've used some of them together, half and half, and I finally have my thoughts on all of them. So let's dive right into it and let's jump into the review. Now, in case any of you don't know, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows, Aqualogica has three sunscreens. They have the Hydrate Plus Dewy Sunscreen, they have the Glow Plus Dewy Sunscreen, and they have the Radiance Plus Dewy Sunscreen. So all of these are supposed to be dewy sunscreens. None of them are supposed to have a matte finish or anything like that, and they all have different ingredients. The Hydrate has coconut water and hyaluronic acid, the Glow one has papaya and vitamin C, and the Radiance one has watermelon and niacinamide. So they're supposed to do different things. This one is supposed to hydrate and nourish, this one is supposed to brighten and hydrate, and this one is supposed to illuminate and hydrate. So yeah, hydration is common in all these three, along with other things. Some of the commonalities of these are that all of them have SPF 50 plus, PA 3 pluses, which give you UVA as well as UVB protection, and they also do have some ingredients that I will say particularly are overlapping in all of them, and that can be the active ingredients. I believe all of them have zinc oxide as well as titanium dioxide, so you could call them a physical sunscreen if you wanted to, but I would say that all of these are hybrid sunscreens because they do have physical as well as chemical filters. These two have zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. This one does not. I do want to let you know that. And apart from that, I have gone through the ingredients list otherwise as well, and I feel a lot of things are common. So yeah, there is that. Now, in terms of the individual reviews on all of these, and then I will compare them to other sunscreens for you to understand. So the first one, which is the Hydrate one, and this is I believe the first one that was launched in this range of three. So this is your typical creamy, slightly moussey, but still thin in terms of consistency, and when it goes on, it does get absorbed pretty damn quickly into the skin. So if that's something you're going to be bothered about, this is something that you will not face any problems blending into the skin. It's not going to give you a white cast, it's going to get absorbed pretty quickly, and it's also something that I feel would be appropriate for all seasons. I do enjoy using this now in the winters, but at the same time, if I had to use this in the summer as well, I don't think I would have a problem with it per se. I take 2 finger lengths of it and draw it on my fingers and apply it all over my face, and it works pretty nicely, pretty perfectly. I do really enjoy this sunscreen, and when I was actually purchasing these, there was a buy 2 get 2 free offer going on, or was it buy 1 get 1? Yeah, I think it was buy 1 get 1 offer. So these two I had bought you bought one and you got the other free. But then when I was buying this one, I was like, kya karu main, they don't have a fourth sunscreen, so I would have to end up either buying another product or just buying duplicates of one of these. So I ended up buying 2 of this specific one, and tabhi I was a little dicey ki what if it doesn't work for me, I'll end up with 2. But I'm actually very happy that I got 2, because it just ended up being a backup. Once I use up this particular tube, I'm gonna happily move on to my new tube. So yeah, that's something that thankfully I do not regret. But yeah, that's the Hydrate sunscreen. Then moving on to the Glow Plus sunscreen. So this particular one is I would say I'm gonna actually first insert the application clip per se of me applying this particular product and using it and all of that, and then it will make sense to you ki acha, why is she saying what she's saying. So I'm going to insert that first. So basically it's very very clear in the video. Like first I tried out this one, then I tried out this one, and when I tried out this one I was like, this is the same, this is just like the Hydrate, but it's got different like marketing ingredients and all of that stuff. That is pretty much the only difference that I see in these two, is the different colors of the packaging and the slightly different ingredients. Like this one has papaya and vitamin C, this one has coconut water. That's the only difference. Apart from that, this one applies, looks, feels, blends just the same. Like these two, in my opinion, there's no difference. There is absolutely no difference. Everything that I said for this, that it's a creamy texture, easy, light, blends very well, no white cast, suitable for all seasons. You can use this in the summer, you can use this in the monsoon, winters. Throughout the year, it's going to work great for you. It's going to work really amazing. Everything that I said for the Hydrate Plus sunscreen, all the same things are going to apply for this one. So in my mind, it doesn't really make sense that why did they end up making two different sunscreens. They could have just made one, or they could have made this but like reformulated something, changed something, maybe a different texture, different consistency, made it silicone-y, or maybe made it a matte sunscreen. They could have done so much. So I'm kind of disappointed with them that they made two sunscreens that are like exactly the same, but that's that. They did what they got to do. So in my opinion, personally, I would say don't get both, get one or the other, because you're just having two of the same sunscreens, which I don't mind for me personally, because like I said, I'm happy to have a backup of this. Similarly, having this feels like I have a backup of this, so I have like 3 backups now, 3 of the same sunscreens. So that's how I feel personally, and I don't mind it. But if you're someone and you're doing it, like you're buying both of these knowing that they're the same, that's totally fine. But if you're doing it unknowingly, thinking, yeah, so this is going to be different from this, no, that's not the case. So that's these two, very similar, pretty much the same. Also, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I did a half and half. So I did a half and half with these two on one, like one on this side, one on this side. It's the same thing, no difference. So yeah, that is the Hydrate Plus and the Glow Plus. Now moving on to the one that is a little bit different from those two, and that is the Radiance Plus. So the Radiance Plus is a little bit more milkier and thinner in terms of the consistency, I will say that. So this one applies more like a, I want to say, serum sunscreen. I am typically not someone who would go for like the serum sunscreen with the dropper wala situation, but if I wanted a super duper very light, thin, watery consistency in a sunscreen that would be like a serum, this is like the closest thing that I would go to. It's got the same packaging like the other two, like the airless pump and all of that, but when you take this on your hands and you like draw the lines, it kind of feels definitely a lot more thinner in terms of the consistency. And even when you're applying it on the skin, it's not like a cream that you're blending in, it's more like a watery lotion that you're blending into the skin. But everything that I said for these two, in terms of no white cast, in terms of blending super easily, it's all the same with this one as well. So I don't really have any issues blending it in, but I will say that this one takes a little bit longer for me to like, for it to get absorbed into the skin, and then I have to wait a little bit longer to put makeup on. So that is something that is different with this one as compared to these, but again, I don't really mind it. So if you're gonna ask me that should I get one of these or should I get this, I will say that if you want more of like a Dermaco hyaluronic acid sunscreen wala feeling, go for one of these. And if you want more of like a watery or lotionier consistency, something like, you know, those Korean sunscreens, if you have ever seen, that have a super thin, lightweight, very thin consistency, then go for this. That's how I would typically ask you to decide which is better. That being said, since I mentioned the Dermaco hyaluronic acid sunscreen, I want to make like a, not a confession because I'm not the one creating them, but I have a little secret basically to tell you that the Dermaco hyaluronic acid sunscreen is pretty much the same as these two. So again, knowing that Dermaco and Aqualogica are owned by the same people, I'm like, why would you make 3 different sunscreens under different names, different brands, but just make the same thing over and over and over again. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So that is something I'm kind of disappointed about, to be completely honest, because if I compare what the founders and the owners, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, Ghazal herself is not sitting in the lab making all these things. I'm sure they have cosmetic chemists who are doing these things. So somewhere I feel like they're also responsible for you know, making the same thing 3 times. I also feel like it's maybe not completely their fault. It's something that the top management might have asked them that, you know what, this is what we want, and just make it, like just repackage the same thing again, and they did it. So I don't know who is really responsible behind this, but what I can tell you as a consumer myself, along with of course being the reviewer, is that the Dermaco hyaluronic acid sunscreen is the same as the Aqualogica Hydrate, which is the same as the Glow Plus from Aqualogica as well. So all these 3 sunscreens are the same. If you already have Dermaco, because I know Dermaco, I'm pretty sure, came first, and it also became super duper popular first. So if you already have Dermaco, if you've already tried it out, these 2 are the same. You don't need to necessarily buy one or the other. If you feel like you are not going to purchase from the Dermaco website, but you ended up on the Aqualogica website and you want to pick up a sunscreen which is one of these, just pick and choose any. You can get one, try it out. If you like it, then maybe buy the other also, I don't know, or just repurchase the same thing. Doesn't really matter, to be completely honest. But yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on these 3 sunscreens. Also wanted to quickly kind of like talk about which ones I would end up repurchasing. For me personally, I don't think I would be repurchasing the Radiance one, just because that's not my favorite consistency. My favorite consistency in terms of for sunscreen that is appropriate throughout the year is something like the Dermaco or like these 2. So if I had to decide which one I was repurchasing and I was placing an order on the Dermaco website, I would just buy a lot of the hyaluronic acid sunscreen from Dermaco. And if I was on the Aqualogica website, which I probably will be in the future, to get more products to review from Aqualogica, because I have been getting a lot of requests for those. So if I end up doing that and I'm placing an order and they have an offer already going on, then I would probably repurchase one of these, or maybe I'd buy both, just because the packaging is cute and I could take amazing photos with like different colors. So yeah, I know it's lame, but being someone, you know, who's creating content, I need to think about what looks good on the feed as well. As lame as it sounds, in real life, it's true. You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, yeah, that's just how Instagram and social media works. So yeah, that's what, like, that's how I would decide which one I wanted to repurchase. So out of these 3, I would definitely repurchase these 2 and not repurchase the Radiance one. So yeah, that was it for this video. I hope that you found something in it that was helpful. So yeah, let me know down below in the comment section if you have tried out any of these. What are your thoughts on it? If you've tried out the Glow Plus and the Hydrate Plus, please tell me that they're the same thing, because I will probably fight with you if you say otherwise. I don't tell a difference, but if you do, I still want to know. I mean, we can fight, but I would still want to know if you find these 2 to be different from each other. If you've tried out both, tell me what you think down below, because I feel like I'm the only person on the internet who feels like they're the exact same, or at least I haven't seen anyone be vocal enough in saying that these are the same. So yeah, I know I'm not crazy, but sometimes I feel like I am. So please give me some validation down below in the comments if you have tried either of these. But yeah, let me know your thoughts any which ways down below in the comment section about if you've tried any of these. What do you think? If you want to try any of them out, was my review helpful? Please let me know down below. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Until next time, bye bye. Okay, so today we're trying out the Aqualogica Hydrate Plus Dewy Sunscreen with coconut water and hyaluronic acid. This is supposed to be the more hydrating one. I am assuming that out of the three, this is the one that is going to be my favorite, just because this is supposed to be like a simple hydrating sunscreen, whereas the glow one and the radiance one might be a little bit more on the dewier side. So I'm gonna take, okay, 2-finger lengths, just like I would usually do. And am I imagining this or what, but this looks very, very similar to my favorite Dermaco hyaluronic acid sunscreen. And I mean, considering the fact that they are both sister brands, have they just made a replica in their sister brand and called it something else? I mean, I'm sure the ingredients might be slightly different and stuff. We could always do a comparison for that, but yeah, this feels, just first impression wise, very, very similar. So now I'm just going to start blending. Yeah, I think that my guess is accurate, because this is blending very similarly. I can definitely tell that faint coconut water smell, but it could either be from my body wash that I'm smelling, or it could be the actual sunscreen also. I think it is the sunscreen, but I might be mistaking the body wash that I used in the shower today. But yeah, can you see how this is very similar to the Dermaco, where there is absolutely no white cast. It leaves a nice hydrating finish on the skin, but there is no like excess radiance, excess of like too much of glow and dew going on. It's pretty nice. It's pretty damn nice, and I am excited to actually compare the two and see. But yeah, so far this is what the Hydrate and Dewy sunscreen looks like. I'm very impressed, and I cannot wait to continue using this, and I think I'll eventually do like a comparison with the Dermaco as well. So yeah. Okay, so today we're going to try out the second sunscreen from Aqualogica. This is the Glow Plus Dewy Sunscreen with papaya and vitamin E. It's supposed to brighten and hydrate the skin. Again, it's the same SPF 50 that all the three sunscreens are SPF 50, which I really like, by the way. I'm going to show you what the packaging looks like. That's basically the same thing. I'm sure you've seen it already a bunch of times on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. It's this white component, like the packaging is white, the outer bottle, and then the actual component is the same. It's the same pump. All of them are identical in terms of packaging. I do want to, however, see what the texture is like. That's what I'm most excited for, because yesterday after I filmed, okay, you guys, I think I was right. So I was saying that yesterday after I filmed the clip, I actually went to read the ingredients of the Dermaco and the Hydrate sunscreen, and I was very surprised to see, I mean I was not surprised, I should say, to see that a lot of the ingredients were the same. I mean, of course there were differences, like the Dermaco did not have coconut water and stuff, but apart from that, everything was pretty similar. So then I was like, okay, it's technically a good thing. But then I started comparing the ingredients of the three Aqualogica sunscreens, which I hadn't done before, by the way. I didn't compare the ingredients of these three because I wanted to give you a very raw, honest first impressions on camera. So I didn't do that. But like you can see right now, base sunscreen is applying and blending very similar to the Hydrate sunscreen. And shocker, the ingredients are not that different. The only kind of things that I would say are different are the natural extracts. Like that one has coconut water, this one has papaya and vitamin E. Those are the only differences between the Hydrate sunscreen and the Glow sunscreen. I mean, literally, can you see how this is pretty much, I mean, it blends the same, it looks the same, the texture is the same, even the ingredients are the same. So I feel like they're just repackaging one product in two different colors and adding it in two different ranges, and that is pretty much that. So I don't know if I should be happy about it or I should just think it's a marketing gimmick and they're just trying to expand their shade range, not shade range but like product range. I mean, they really could have gone out and done different textures, different finishes, and targeted huger, like not huger but larger market, I feel. And yes, this pimple is bothering me, so yeah, that's what my first impressions are. Of course, I love the sunscreen, there's no doubt about that. I love the texture, I love the finish, but they've already done that before. They've done that with Dermaco, they've done that with the Hydrate sunscreen also from Aqualogica. Like some people might tell you that okay, they might want to have the same product in both of their brands. Okay, fine, I get it, but you can have just one product which is like, you know, that particular. You don't have to have two separate products in two separate packages and put the same thing inside, you know. So yeah, that to me is a little off-putting, I guess. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't dislike it because I like the product, but I dislike it from like a marketing perspective. So yeah. So today we're going to be trying out the Radiance Plus UV sunscreen from Aqualogica, and I'm really excited and curious to see how this one is going to be different from the first two. Also, if it is going to be different from the first two or if it's just the same thing all over again. If it is, not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. So this is what the packaging looks like. Again, the same component, just in pink essentially. So yeah, okay, this one seems a little more watery kinda when you pump it out. I will not tilt my hand because if I do, so it's all gonna fall. Can you see how this is more like a lotion? Kind of reminds me of the Put Simply sunscreen actually. I'm someone who doesn't shy away from putting sunscreen all around the eye. Yeah, this one is a very thinner, like lotiony texture. So finally we have something that's not like identical to the other two, which is nice. But this one I feel like is giving me a little bit more of a cast than the other two, whereas they do have like physical filters. But like when I say physical filters, I mean titanium dioxide, not zinc oxide. Zinc oxide though will give you like full on cast. Okay, this is a little better. So I think think it just needs a little more blending than you normally would, and it absorbs well. So yeah, this one is nice. Definitely gives you the nice like radiance and dew that it claims to, which is nice. It is giving me like a slight tingle on the face, but nothing too crazy. I think it's because of the niacinamide, because I already have niacinamide underneath. Like I did the one thing, niacinamide 10% first, then moisturizer, and then I'm putting sunscreen. So maybe there is way too much niacinamide on my face. That could be one reason for the tingle. So yeah, apart from that, so far so good. I do like the overall finish and texture, and I definitely appreciate the fact that this one is different from the other two. So yeah.